Hello, everybody. Philip Lee returning with another episode of Civil War Chat. Today is Wednesday, the 27th of October, 2021. Today's topic is going to be on some good news. So first, what you should do if you're interested in seeing future episodes is click on the subscribe button down here in the lower right. And also in the far upper right, click on the notification bell to be notified when they come out. Before I get into my presentation, I want to bring to your attention U.S. Grant's Failed Presidency. If you really want to learn about Reconstruction, this is your book. You can get it for $22 at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other bookstores. You can get a signed autographed copy from me. For $25, I'll deliver it here in the States, in the United States, for $25. But to get the autographed copy, you've got to email me, Phil, P-H-I-L _Lee, L-E-I-G-H @me.com. Okay, what I want to talk to you today about is some good news. Now, what we all know is the protection of Confederate heritage, Confederate statues, and even the name Robert E. Lee at places like Washington and Lee University and elsewhere. That's really, for us, a freedom of speech issue. In fact, it's really just a small component of freedom of speech, the freedom of speech battle going on in the United States today, and actually in much of the Western world. So the good news is there have been some people that have made some significant progress in freedom of speech, although they are not really focused on Confederate memorials or Confederate heritage. In fact, they seldom comment on it. But I'll give you the two examples. One is the Daily Wire, which has, and one of the speakers there, Michael Knowles, his show, he has spoken favorably of Confederate memorials, just for keeping them, just for the value of their tradition. But what they have done is they have disclosed the lies of the Loudoun County School Board, which has tried to shut down parents, Loudoun County, Virginia School Board, which has tried to shut down the input from parents who want to see critical race theory and similar teachings kicked out of the school. They're making progress because what they've done at the Daily Wire, they've hired what do you call it, investigative journalist, and he discovered that somebody that was arrested by the police at one of those Loudoun County School Board meetings, a parent who was arrested and then characterized in the New York Times, Washington Post, and virtually all of the corporate media, disgustingly portrayed as a white terrorist or domestic terrorist or some kind of crap like that, when he was actually there to protest the fact that his daughter had been, he alleged that his daughter had been sexually molested by a transgender student in the ladies' room or the girls' room at the school. And it's now come out that the Loudoun County School Board lied about that, saying they had no information about it. They said that right there to the parents. And it has come out now that investigations have shown that they've concluded that there was, the alleged instance was really probable. Based upon law enforcement investigation. So that's the first thing, because now the mainstream media has to address it. And of course, they're addressing it in their typically corrupted way. But the Washington Post had an article from a so-called justice reporter, and it was just a corrupted version of the story. But the second thing is Dave Rubin over at the Rubin Report has been building his locals.com community, which is sort of to be an alternative to an alternative way for podcasters and others to earn money through subscriptions. I have looked into it. I haven't gone into it. It's new, but anyway, he sold it. He sold it to Rumble, and Rumble is an alternative to YouTube, which seems to be gaining traction. Also, Dan Bongino is a participant in Rumble, and he's got, his famous Bongino report. So both of these developments underscore the progress that at least there are 2 points of lights in which we hoping to find 1,000 points of lights in favor of free speech. And this is something that we haven't seen. We haven't seen the free speech side of the debate make much progress until now. And so I'm glad of these two developments. Now, the other thing I would mention is that about 45 years ago, I visited the prominent venture capital firms in Silicon Valley, even before they were all on Sand Hill Road. I visited Kleiner Perkins. I visited, Kleiner Perkins is now known as Kleiner Perkins, Caulfield and Byers, or maybe some new names in there. But I visited it when Kleiner Perkins was Tom Perkins and Eugene Kleiner. I visited Caulfield when he had his own firm, and Byers when he was working, I think he was working for a venture capital firm down in San Jose. I visited Mayfield Fund. I didn't get to Arthur Rock, but I got to most of the prominent ones out there. Here's the point. Back at that time, all of those guys were not only committed capitalists, they were politically right-wing. They had no interest in any kind of this left-wing collectivism that would be a road to socialism and communism, and all this gender theory, all this critical race theory, all this stuff had been no interest to those guys. Tom Perkins was an outspoken right-wing political advocate until he died in his 80s, and it was well known that he was that way. So nonetheless, that's what I just wanted to bring to your attention there. There's actually some free speech progress being made. The other thing that to me was interesting is to learn when Dave Rubin tried to raise money for locals.com, and he went up to Silicon Valley. He said they visited all of the firms. He said on the QT, those guys told him that we think you've got a good idea here. We think you've got a good plan, good possibilities, but you know, you're politically on the right, and I guess that they see that as the kiss of death for them. So hopefully what that will mean is that we'll see venture capital become more more evenly distributed throughout the country. Because if those Silicon Valley guys are going to stay left-wing, I don't see how they're going to continue to be successful over the long term. Okay, that's our show for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.